Schneider Mike here at the Ad Club Edge conference with the great questioner, Rob Walker from the New York Times. Hey, Rob, great to have you here. I'm doing okay. Just did a great talk, but since for the people who didn't get to see it, what are you consumed by?
Well, today I talked about stories and storytelling, and I guess one of the main points that I wanted to make is how we not only consume stories, but we sort of consume through stories, and that stories, when done right, have a value of their own that goes beyond just being a tool for selling an object, which I think sometimes is the way people, no offense to the advertising world, but sometimes there's a little bit more emphasis on story as just a way to sell something and maybe not enough emphasis on story, and that leads to kind of non-memorable stories.
Is it because it's a dying art, or what's the problem with storytelling?
No, it's not a dying art. I think that the problem is that framework in some cases where it's become almost a cliche now to sort of talk about, well, stories are so important, and that's not a new phenomenon. Stories have been important to humans for a very long time, and that's not something that, just because the internet is giving us new ways to tell stories doesn't mean that those stories have to be told in a way that's sort of slavish to the technology as opposed to simply being great stories.
What are some technologies that are good for storytelling?
All technologies are good. Sitting here talking to you is good. I mean, I seriously think that the way to frame it is sometimes there are campaigns that I might look at, and don't ask me to name one, but that you might say, well, maybe it would have helped to step back and think more about the real story and worry a little less about making sure you blew it out over Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and whatever other thing that I haven't heard of yet.
Rob Walker, not Rob Walker on Twitter. Thanks.
Thank you.